Hello and welcome to Presenting Lifespan Development. In this video, we will be discussing the social, emotional, and moral development during adolescence. Key findings during adolescence for social development are a period of rapid emotional highs and lows, and the beginnings of self-regulation of emotion. Peer relationships become more important socially as adolescents develop. Moral development is marked by teens beginning to understand the concept of justice and beginning to form their own moral code. Social development during adolescence. Variables that affect social development during adolescence. Learning during adolescence is a social process. Parent and peer relationships increase in importance. Teens may begin to pull away from their parents during this time, and family relationships still remain important, but the parent-child relationship changes. Parental negotiation with the child may become more important as children begin to question rules. Parental monitoring is necessary as children begin to spend more time away from home. Adolescents begin to express their individuality and will begin to try to self-govern themselves, a process known as autonomy. Mixed-sex peer groups become more important than same-sex peer groups. Boys and girls will begin to hang out more together. This can lead to emerging romantic relationships. Teens begin to explore their sexual identity through these relationships, and this is often the period when sexual orientation is decided. Teens will begin to experiment with new social behaviors and new identities. Variables that affect emotional development during adolescence. Adolescents' emotions may seem extreme during this period as they begin to experience highs and lows in emotion. They begin to emotionally self-regulate, which is learning to manage their emotions to a more acceptable level. Facing and overcoming challenges can help teens learn to do this. There are two ways adolescents learn to regulate their emotions. Cognitive appraisal is analyzing an experience to make it seem less troublesome. Emotional suppression is inhibiting emotional expression, even if they still feel the emotions inside. Variables that affect moral development during adolescence. Adolescents will begin to develop empathy and abstract thinking. They will begin to see that not all answers are clear-cut. They will begin to understand other people's choices and their own choices. Abstract thinking will help them understand the concepts of justice and safety. Teens may begin to ask questions and need explanation and justification why certain rules are in place, such as curfews, why they should do their homework on time, concepts such as this. Adults can help adolescents by explaining these rules and answering those questions. As parents do this, teens will begin to form their own moral code. By examining their role in the world, learning to understand what is right and wrong, and by facing personal moral dilemmas, adolescents will begin to establish their own personal values. This summary analysis focuses on how decision-making is affected in adolescence. Decision-making is a social process and can be influenced by peer and parental interactions. Who adolescents hang out with and how their parents monitor them can affect how children develop their decision-making ability. Emotional highs and lows can affect impulsivity and affect how children make their decisions. As teens begin to form their moral code, their values and sense of justice can influence decision-making. My advice for parents during this time is to be aware of what your children are doing and who their friends are. Monitor them. This can help parents assist with decision-making abilities, which builds moral development, and understanding peer relations. Provide support and encouragement. Teens are going to require guidance, and are going to ask questions. This is when they need explanations. This is a period of extreme emotion, and teens will need emotional support. Be patient. Teens will explore various identities and social behaviors, and they may push back against their parents to learn their limits and boundaries. This helps with emotional and social development. Adolescence is a period of insight and self-reflection. Learning during this time is a social process, and interaction with parents and peers is very important. This learning helps them to self-regulate emotions and learn their own moral codes and values and develop a sense of moral justice. It's important during this time for parents to understand that adolescents can be highly emotional, impulsive, and question decisions. In order to help children in social, emotional, and moral development, it's important for parents to be involved and monitor their children, know who they're hanging out with, know who their friends are, understand that teens are going to have questions, provide explanations when they have these questions, and give advice and feedback when children need it.